Well, g'day. How you going? Thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to make a side table. It sits next to the couch. You put your drinks on it. It's got a steel base and it's got a wooden top. The top's going to be round. It's made of silky oak, which is a native Australian timber. It's sort of a hardwood, but not really. It's pretty light. But it comes up really nice when you finish it. And I just had a stick of it laying around, so decided it would be a reasonable amount to make a top for this. I don't recommend welding on MDF, but if it's all you've got, it's all you've got. Here I'm using some 0.9 flux core on the MIG. And I found out that I didn't actually have to keep the little gas shroud on when I was using flux core, which has made things a lot easier to see. You can see the MDF catches on fire sometimes. So it's probably a good idea to wear a respirator when you're doing this, as it's full of nasty chemicals. There they are, the angles. Alright, now we're going to do up this middle bit that they're all going to attach to. Support the top, support the bottom. Just welding some ends onto it, so it's going to appear like a solid piece. It's 25mm square tube, 3mm thick wall. And there you go. Looks like one solid piece. Magic. I'm just nailing together another little jig to help with the assembly. I tell you what, this pin nailer is fantastic. If you don't have one, I highly recommend it. I kept this segment a bit long here because you can sort of see how my brain's trying to figure this out. Keep in mind this is sped up to 8 times, so my brain doesn't work that quickly. But we get there in the end. Here we go, getting those little bits on. It's so good not without that, without the gas shielder. Being able to actually see these fiddly little bits. Alright, here's the moment of truth. Does it line them up correctly? Let's see. Ah, it does. Yeah, get some more on there. Very good. You can see it's gotten dark. I tried to get this done in a day. I don't think I succeeded. But at least we'll get the frame together. Alright. There it is. Cleaning it up with this wire wheel on the angle grinder there. It's always satisfying cleaning up flux core. Look at that. Shiny. Very nice. Painting it up with some... I just use black undercoat. And I put a clear lacquer over the top of it. You get 4 litres of this for $20. Oh, here we go. So I'm starting on the top here. You can see my circle drawings got a lot to be desired, but we get the idea of the radius. If you have these Bessie clamps, I highly recommend putting tape on them before you glue, because for some reason it's very difficult to get glue off these Bessie clamps, and it completely stuffs up the mechanism, I find. They're difficult enough to use as it is. Here's another good thing. This little brush. I found this next to the glue, funnily enough. It's made of silicon, which means that the glue doesn't stick to it. So you just let your glue dry, then you pull it off, and your brush is as good as new. Surprisingly durable. You can see I'm making this absolutely perfect. Look at that. I never trust these panels without a biscuit or something in them, but God, it's so much faster doing it without them. So you see me fiddling around with it a bit more. Trying to pretend like it's not going to bow up inevitably. Don't know why I'm wearing a dust mask. So this is going to be a circle jig for the router. So I've got the base there, just marking out the holes and drilling them so these little bolts can go through and attach the router. If you haven't done this, I really recommend it. It's a very quick thing to make. You don't need to buy one. I've been getting more into building your own jigs lately, because the ones that you buy from these shops are often pretty terrible, I find. So that's the radius that I wanted. Drilling a hole there to accept the screw. Finding the center on these boards here, or this panel as it is now, and attaching the old circle jig. You see it works pretty well, I thought. Yep, getting there. God, be glad I sped this up. I think I was a bit worried it was going to stuff up. So I went pretty slowly. I didn't get any burning though. So it came out really pretty well, I thought. And I'm just using the flush trim bit here. So I created the edge with the router on the circle jig, then just using the flush trim bit to flush it up, if you will. Very good. Putting an edge on it at the router table here. There, looks nice. So it's sort of this little bullnose kind of edge on it. There you go, just spraying some clear lacquer on it, 30% sheen. And there it is. Oh, we're finished. Well, that came out pretty well, I thought.